Good morning. So we're back for another morning coffee time session. I'm really looking forward to these myself. I taping them because I'm always doing them, but now I feel like I'm doing them with you. Like I'm not sitting here doing them by myself. I know that may sound a little crazy, but that's what it feels like. So I'm always excited when I turn on the tape and say hi to you guys. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's going to be coming up in a few of our future video studio time things. I thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of start sharing during my morning coffee times some of what we'll also be doing in some of the future videos. Okay, I know that we have a journal that's starting off like this. Yeah, and it looks like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm loving it. And in a very short period of time, you notice that it starts getting really thick. And you think, oh my goodness, it's already as thick as what I have left, and I've only done like 40 pages. So, or maybe not even that, maybe 20 pages. So then it goes from like looking like this to pretty quickly, you know, it's going to end up looking like this. You know, yikes. It's like, oh, it's like no way this is in this cover any longer. And so a few of you have emailed me and said, wow, I took my covers off. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I realized with all the collaging and what have you, that the cover started to separate. Exactly. That does happen. But I have a solution. So I'm going to be doing a video probably within the next week or so. I'm going to give you guys enough time to get some supplies together. So when I do the video, you feel like, oh, you're pretty ready to do it yourself. Versus me doing the video and then you're like, oh, I could have gotten that, or oh, I just saw something like that if I had known. You know, it's always like that. At least that's how it is for me. So I wanted to show you where we're going to move to. So I'm going to show you how to do a simple leather cover like this. So here, this is the same book that these journals, the same one we're working with in progression. So it starts like this. It moves to that, and then I move it to here. And I like this solution because it's a very easy and quick solution, and you can still finish it off with, I had actually put a band around this, but we can finish it a lot of different ways. But in terms of the closure, you can make a closure. This flaps over nice, and I kind of like this sort of rugged outdoor journal kind of feel that it has to it, just with this flap, and because it's heavy enough and it seems to always stay. So I elected not to necessarily do any embellishments, but you could. But I'm going to show you how to do this. So you can either use leather. And in this case, it's see, the book works beautifully, still nicely. It's plenty of space in it. It's wonderful. And then it's like that. And then you have an actual permanent book structure now that's going to stand the test of time. And it just becomes another wonderful journal you get to slide on your shelf as you continue to make these. So what you want is a piece of leather, flexible. It needs to be, it needs to have a little bit of thickness to it. But you don't really want that real stiff, hard leather. But it needs to have a little bit of body to it so it's not super thin. One of the places that I would suggest that you could get leather, if you want to get leather, is just your local thrift store. Just go in there and look for an old leather jacket that has a color that you like. It may be $9 or, $12 or something like that. They're not that expensive, but you get a lot of leather in there. So now you'll be able to use that leather for other journals. I always use that as a quick fix because our mind doesn't necessarily go to the thrift store. We think, oh, where am I going to find leather? Oh, I got to try to find a leather place. Then they have this big, huge piece of leather. It's $100. Oh, I don't want to spend that. It goes on from there. So just go to your local thrift store, start looking for leather jackets. This time of year, a lot of times they'll have them out and they'll be discounted because it's, summer. It's not a hot item. So that's a good way. Or you may even have an old leather jacket yourself that, you're not going to wear again. It's threadbare, but it has some memories to it. You don't really want to get rid of it, but you're not going to wear it again. Oh, what do I do with it? So, wow, wouldn't this be a great repurpose for it? So you get to still live the memories of that jacket, but now you get to put it in your journal. So that's another way of looking at it. If you're not into leather, you don't like it, or, you know, you have, you know, a lot of times people who are, you know, your connection is to animals, and I forget the movement. I'm so sorry. It's morning, and I respect that. You know, you're not into leather. Then another wonderful solution is fabric. Get some really thick upholstery fabric. You know, something that has some texture and stuff to it. In fact, let me show you real quick, because I just came across this in a thrift store, and I was going to show you guys. I have another project that I was thinking about doing with this, but I found one of these upholstery books, like great fabrics in here. I really just love the color and the texture of these fabrics. I mean, how nice are these? So I was going to actually use these in another project. I'm going to show you all a different journal style. So if you happen to start seeing these, I think I got this whole book for like, I already took it apart. I think like $1.99. I guess they didn't know what to do with it at the thrift store. So it's a Robert Allen home. They do some nice fabrics. So yeah. So find a bigger piece of this. You know that oftentimes they have the bigger books you may find, or just, you know, go to your local fabric store and look in the one-off bins or the scrap fabrics, and just find a nice piece of textured fabric. This works beautifully, and then we can just have a big piece like that, and we'll work from that to cover these books. So just know within the next week or so, I'll do a video showing you how to do that. But I wanted to address it because I know a few of you are like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And I don't want you to think that I don't have a solution. You know, we'll solve it and we'll have fun. And then that just will also teach you another way to create a book structure. And you probably have other journals sitting around. You think, oh, I'd like to do that. Because sometimes these covers just don't work after a while. So just know that that's coming in the future. I'll just share that. And if you happen to start finding those fabric books, or you have some yourself, and you know, it's spring cleaning time, or, you know, early summer, because I just finished doing my late spring cleaning, and you throw it away. And then a week later, here I come on all jolly and happy and say, hey guys, look at these great fabric books you can use. And you're thinking, oh, I just threw that away. If you're like me, that's what always happens. So I wanted to let you guys know that. Now, the other thing that we're going to be doing is we're getting ready to journal on these pages. We're going to journal with something that I came up with in the midnight hours, literally. I was laying in bed. It probably was like, I don't know, 11:30 or so. And it hit me, I have some paper that I could use to try jelly printing on. I haven't used yet. So I got up, and literally I didn't go to bed till 2 o'clock, because and I probably should have taped it. Then I didn't think about it. I was so into it. So I'm going to do another jelly printing video that's going to come up. Probably I'll do it this week. And I'm going to show you guys this technique. It is phenomenal. I mean, look at the texture and color in this. And this is using the Punchella. Looky here. Tell me this doesn't really look like some old walls and some yummy texture. And then I'm using this interferon on this particular paper. I'm holding off telling you all the details. Yes, I'm keeping you in suspense. But it really has taken to it nicely. Look at all this yummy. Look at this. Just the richness of that. Colors. I wanted to show you some of these because I'm going to do, look at that. How about old walls? I mean, so clearly I have a stack of these. I could just go on and just show. So, but I'm going to show this in a video that's going to be coming up very soon. I probably will do it this week, the technique, if not this week, the early part of next week. And so you'll get this very soon. I won't hold you in suspense very long, but I wanted to show you that because I was actually using it as a collage element. So when I did these pages, remember, I did the pages of just jelly printing right on them. So then I wanted to do some collaging of the jelly prints on top. So that's what made me have the idea to use this paper. And so in this case, I was ripping them and just kind of doing this sort of pattern on it. So I'm gonna glue those down to finish this with you guys. And then I probably will do something like this on this side. It sort of mimics it. I think these colors work well together. But this texture is just, look at this. Texture is just incredible. So I wanted to collage these down, glue these down because it's such a beautiful color. The colors are just so wonderful together. And so I want to remember the palette, and also I want to remember the palette, and I want to remember, I'm just gluing it up, the this technique and doing it together with the jelly printing. So a lot of times I'll do that when I'm just making notes to myself. So when I come back across this, like if I'm working on a larger piece and I want to, and I'm looking for ideas for a larger painting or a larger collage, then I always go back to my journals, because this is where I store all my ideas. This is where all my ideas are. So a lot of times I'm not really worried, and that's why I'm always telling you guys, play, 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 play. Because a lot of times I'm really honestly not worried about trying to do a finished piece of art or a finished concept. That's not what this is about. What I'm trying to do is, what I'm really wanting to do is just have a log of my ideas, color palettes, textures, relationships to things that I like, so that when I do go into the studio to work on a fine art piece, I've already got a ton of ideas that I can pull from. So sometimes when I'm just sitting around in the evening, I don't like this one didn't get done really good. I have a place here that I'm trying to get this glue on it. And I'm purposely not showing you guys, because if you see how I glue it and what I'm doing, then I'll be giving half of it away. Keep you in suspense. But anyway, so that's why I'm always saying, you know, a lot of times you guys are saying, oh, I don't know what I was doing here. I like the colors. Oh, I like the textures. Like when you're posting it in the group, and I'm like saying, oh, no, that's great. Just keep on playing. Love the colors. Because that's exactly what I want you to do. I don't want you to necessarily think about this journal as finished, fine art. That's where so many people and artists make their mistakes. They're always trying to make a finished, you know, a finished piece of art. The moment you sit down or go into your studio, it's too much pressure. And then you're not having any fun. And then with that, you don't make as many discoveries. But if you do it this way, where you're just playing, you know, and what have you, like what happened with this idea that I'm gonna show you guys, that happened purely because I was playing and then just thinking about, oh, how, you know, I'm thinking, wouldn't that look nice, or blah, blah, blah. And then it hit me, wow, I haven't tried this paper that I had. And it's going to be easy for you guys to get. It's readily available. Don't worry about that. It's not going to be some kind of crazy stuff that comes from halfway around the globe. You're going to love it. When I show you, you guys are going to love it. So anyway, so when you're done, it's really about the process of discovering new ideas. So with this one, I just decided to rip that paper in sections and lay it down in these sort of stripes. Now, so when you look at this, you can sort of see it's kind of hard. It's not like really coming up as good on camera as it is here. But these color patterns and combinations really are interesting to me. They work well together. This has a lot of texture to it. This is smooth. So you can kind of see. What can you see? So clearly, when I come across this page, this is not a finished piece of art. clearly. But when I look at it, it's going to remind me, oh, these textures, these colors, I like these patterns together. So think about your journaling like that too. Think about it like it's a catalog of ideas, of colors, of textures, of things that will stimulate your mind to the next thing, not like a finished piece. Like when I look at this, I mean, this is not a finished piece of art, but what it is, it can be, because I could do this larger. I could play with these elements. I could embrace this in a larger, piece. And it stimulates my ideas for other things. And in fact, it's moving from here to here to here to here to here. That got me here. You know what I mean? So think of it as a journey. Okay, so on this side, I like all of what's going on here. And actually, I almost don't even want to I almost don't put anything on this side, because I truly like the way it is. I just like this texture. I like just remembering what I did here and just seeing all this texture, the gold. It really is nice. And I feel like I'm not even, I actually feel like I'm not going to do anything but put a little bit of pumice stain on it to get rid of some of this white. So I have this white at the top that didn't get jelly printed. So let's just put a little bit of this pumice. And I love the pumice, and it harmonizes the color. It gets rid of the white because it's this gray, these tones of gray and gold that I love. So see how that just harmonized a lot of this white? This pumice is so nice. It actually makes this white pop more. So sometimes when you if you jelly print in your journals, you can stop with that jelly print. If you really like what happened there, you don't have to collage over it. Collaging is just one of the things that I enjoy doing. But sometimes I'll get to a page like this and I'm like, I really like it. I felt like I did a lot of work when I jelly printed it. I really liked what happened. See how that pumice came up on the paper and got rid of that white. See, oh, that was, oh, wait a minute, let me get it to stop. Is that really, it had, okay. It had focused nicely there just a minute ago. I can get it to focus again. But anyhow, you guys see what I'm talking about. Maybe if I put it down some. But that's this pumice, the distress stains. This is one of my favorite ones. It's because it's gone just about. But because I use a lot of these tones, it really will harmonize and just knock that white back and do a nice thing. So if you haven't already got that, this is a good one. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do this when I do my next coffee time. I think I'll do this over here. So I'm not going to do that today. I'll just let these pages settle. So what I wanted to also say, oh, the other thing I want to show you so that you guys can start looking for this, because you're going to want this when we go do the jelly printing, this new jelly printing technique. So I want to get you prepped for that too. So you want to go and get, I've been talking about these paints. Well, they come in every color. These right here work so good on this process I'm going to show you. So let me show you one of these that actually has it in it, because I just want you guys to be all good and ready so that when the video comes out, you're like ready just to sit down and do it. Okay, so, oh, this is this one. I use primarily on these to get this color palette. So if you want to kind of reproduce this color palette, I'm going to show you exactly the colors I use so that you can get any of the ones that you want to reproduce it. And then the gold. So to get this series of colors, I used the Golden's Quinacridone Nickel Ozo Gold. I used the green gold. I used the bronze. I used this Blick Payne's Gray, but you can get any Payne's Gray, because that's where I got my darker elements without it being black or being navy. But the Payne's Gray works so well with greens and oranges to get these really yummy kind of sort of colors you find in nature. And then I use the color shift in this. This one is aqua flash. This one is orange flash. And then this one is blue flash. And I'm going to go back and get some more because they had these in other flashes. But that's what I used to create this palette right here. And I did use a lighter gold too. So you can use, this one is at DIY Shop. I got this from Tuesday Mornings. But I think they carry these at Michael's or whatever also. So this is just a really light gold. And I did also use like, I did use some white. You always have to have white as a release. So I did have some, make sure you have some white on hand. And I used like this Martha Stewart pearl. These Martha Stewarts are good. And oh, wait a minute. I did use a pink also. I used this Martha Stewart. This one's called, I think, Rose Gold. Rose Chrome. I did use this. Okay. So, and that's how I got this really nice selection of patterns. I used them different ways. Oops, I did use a different one too. Sorry. I used the, where is it? Oh boy. It's a burgundy color. It's in the goldens. It has to be up here. Sorry, guys. Oh, here it is. So I use this quinacridone crimson. Beautiful. It's what makes this color here. It makes a beautiful, earthy kind of red, but it goes well with these other colors. Oh, this palette is just, to me, to die for. But, so I wanted to show you the paints that I use, and I'll be using these again. The secret, if you don't have anything else, the secret to this technique are these transparent layers, along with a few dark colors like this. Of course, little golds are fine. You don't have to have all these golden paints. If you just get one fluid acrylic like the quinacridone gold, if you were going to get any of these to say, well, I'm going to try them, I haven't bought them before, or I don't want to spend a lot of money on them because these can be expensive, just get this. You can get this in the smallest bottle. They have them really small. I have one up here. Like you can get the goldens this size. And it may be like $8. But then use the 40% off coupons from Michael's. So you can get it for like $4 or $5 just to try. So you can get them really small. If you go to Michael's, they'll have the smaller ones. And at least they'll have these. And I think these are 14, so you get it for $7. So if you don't do anything else, get this one. Because this one is magic in a bottle. The next one is magic in the bottle is this one. Is this iridescent bronze. So if you don't do anything else but get one and then two, you're good. And so, and then these, like I said, these are only like $2. They're really cheap. And just get whatever you want in these. And then, but I definitely want you to get this. I tried this on a fluke. It's the Martha Stewart Florentine gold, but it has glitter in it. And I'm not really necessarily a glittery person. I don't know if you could see the glitter here. See, it kind of has like glitter on it. See if I can wipe it on something. I can see if it'll show up on here. See, it actually has pieces of glitter in it. And I got it because I was thinking, oh, you know, it's $2. I like the gold. I like the Martha Stewart paints. So I said, let me try it. Oh, I fell in love with it. I put it on here as a final layer on this piece. And let me see if I can get this to show up. You can hardly tell it's on. If you look at it like this, you can hardly tell it's on there. But you see there's like, let me get it just right. Let's get this just. Can you see the really fine sparkles that are on there, like all in here? Let's see if I can get this good. Like right there. You see all those sparkles there? All across that surface. They're super thin. They're like you can't even feel them. They're like right on there. And when you see them in person, you're going to love it. So, and I just took the brayer and I literally braided on over top of my jelly print. And it just made this beautiful little thin layer of glitter that I absolutely love. So definitely grab this. You will not be disappointed. If you haven't tried it yet, you will not be disappointed. And if you have tried it, you can probably amen this right now, because this stuff is great. Well, you'll love it with your jelly prints because it puts just the right layer of this sort of glittery thing without being too much over the top and all that stuff. So anyway, I wanted to make sure that I took this morning coffee time to sort of show you what I've been playing with and how I worked it into those journal pages that I jelly printed, and then sort of set you guys up for some future coffee times where we'll be doing this technique and we'll explore it. I'll show you it and then we can explore it together. And I'm looking forward to see what you guys do with it when you put it up over in our group, because you guys come up with some of the best ideas and you really just push a lot of what I'm showing you. It's exciting to me because you give me ideas as well. So let's see what we're going to do with these, but I promise you, you're going to love them. All righty. Well, have a great day and I will see you in a few days. All righty. And otherwise, let's meet over in our Facebook group and keep on showing me what you're doing. You guys are doing a wonderful job. I just want to make sure that you know that I'm addressing some of the things that are coming up for you, and we're going to show you techniques on them and all that kind of good stuff. All righty. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.